How rich is Rick Ross? Well, Rick Ross is worth more than $100 million, and that was after he founded Maybach Music Group. You might remember Rick Ross for dropping multiple hit singles, or the time he almost piped down Martha Stewart. Born in Mississippi, William Leonard Roberts II moved to Florida during the early stages of his life. As a child he loved playing the Atari, but his bicycle was his favorite. Growing up in Carroll City, Florida during the crack era of the late 80s, Rick Ross spent much of his time playing football with kids from the neighborhood. As early as ever, he has always been on the chubby side. Before turning 12, Ross weighed just over 200 pounds, which unfortunately made him ineligible for Pee Wee football. But he did not shy away. Known as the Fat Boy back in the day, he made friends with one of the coaches who allowed him to attend practice, but he could never play an exhibition game because it was dangerous for the other kids. During his early teenage years, William got a job at a car wash and sold any amount of weed he could get his hands on. In junior high, Ross started working on recording his lyrics, most of them on his mother's Rebe Jackson cassette. Confident in his rapping ability, Rick Ross entered a school talent show, but the judges were not impressed with the amount of curse words in the performance. Rick Ross attended Miami Carroll City Senior High, where he weighed an incredible 300 pounds. Known as Big Will around campus, because he drove a nice car and always took the steering wheel out in case of a robbery attempt. Since there were no weight restrictions on the field in school, Ross started as an offensive lineman for the Carroll City Chiefs, and incredibly made the All-State first-team offense in 1993. While maintaining a normal grade point average, Ross developed a name for himself on the field. Players called him Big East because everybody knew he would play football for the University of Miami in the Big Eastern Conference. As a senior, Rick Ross was second-team All-City, and the Miami Herald regarded him as a top player. But Ross always had a history of not keeping his weight down. Following graduation, Rick Ross decided to attend Albany State University on a football scholarship to study criminal justice. He quickly learned college was not like high school. His grades started falling, and that's when Ross dropped out and moved back to Miami. Using the time wisely, he continued hustling, until he found out his friend got incarcerated for 10 years. That's when Ross realized he needed a legitimate source of income. At the age of 19, he landed a position as a prison guard, holding an annual salary of $23,000. While gaining experience, he entered the training program for a correctional officer, and secured a role which bumped his yearly income to $25,000. But in 1997, William Leonard Roberts II quit his daytime job in order to pursue a career in the music industry. Initially under the moniker Teflon the Don, he started hanging out around studios trying to get any opportunities he could find. Ross's luck eventually turned when he met a female Miami rapper by the name of Trina, who hired him as a ghostwriter. In the year 2000, he made his debut in the music world on a track called Ain't Shit to Discuss. Realizing the potential of the music industry, the Teflon Don changed his name to Rick Ross and landed a deal with Slip and Slide Records, where Trina was already employed. As a new signee, he toured with Trick Daddy, but did not release any major projects. On March 11, 2006, Rick Ross released his debut single called Hustling. The Miami anthem quickly sold 1 million copies around the world, which ignited a bidding war for the boss. In the end, Rick Ross signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Def Jam Records, and dropped his debut studio album called Port of Miami, peaking at the #1 spot on the Billboard chart, along with selling close to 200,000 copies in the first week, making Rose $1.9 million. The album featured multiple hit singles, turning Rick Ross into Miami's biggest superstar. In 2008, Rick Ross released his second studio album called Thriller, peaking at the #1 spot on the Billboard chart once again, and selling close to 1 million copies worldwide, making Rosé $1.2 million. Year later, Rick Ross dropped Deeper Than Rap, his third studio album, which touched the #1 spot on the Billboard chart, and sold more than 500,000 copies around the world, along with making him $850,000 in the process. During the same year, Rick Ross founded Maybach Music Group and landed a distribution deal through Def Jam Records. In 2010, Rick Ross released his fourth studio album called Teflon Don, which sold 500,000 copies around the world, and made him $910,000. Rick Ross made $1.2 million from the God Forgives I Don't album, $840,000 from Mastermind, and $250,000 from the Black Market Project. Not to mention, Rick Ross also earns a fuck ton of cash from hit singles. He made $350,000 from Hustling, $180,000 from The Devil Is a Lie, and $300,000 from Purple Lamborghini, which sold 500,000 copies around the world. And let's not forget, Rick Ross also makes a fuck ton of cash from his businesses as well. Currently he rakes in $5 million a year from his 25 fucking Wingstop locations across the United States. For a single restaurant you need liquid motherfucking assets of $600,000, and for those of you who don't know what the fuck I am talking about, it literally means having 600 bands ready at all times. But we are not done there. Rick Ross is also the face of a sparkling wine brand called Bel Air Rose, and most importantly he is the fucking founder and CEO of MMG record label, which easily puts $40 million in his pocket each year, because Rosé has industry superstars like Meek Mill, Wale, and Fat Trel signed to Maybach Music Group. Not to mention Rick Ross lives on a 200-acre estate, and owns a handful of expensive luxury vehicles. And let's not forget, he charges $100,000 for a feature, and $250,000 for a night. Just a fun fact. Rick Ross and I have been friends for years. Back in the day we were teammates on the Carroll City football squad. When Rosé first launched MMG, it was none other than your boy Alfred, who threw the biggest party in the hills of Hollywood, because I knew Ricky and I struggled in the trenches together. Even till this day Ross always sends me cases of Bel Air straight to my residence. In conclusion, Rick Ross is making more money, investing in more businesses, and eating more wings than you and I combined. Don't forget to subscribe for more, because Rick Ross and I are working on something special.
I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna stack them hundreds. I just wanna spaz out, cash out. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna stack them hundreds. I just wanna spaz out, cash out. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna stack them hundreds. I just wanna spaz out, cash out. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna stack them hundreds. I just wanna spaz out, cash out. I just wanna spaz out, cash out. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna get that money. I just wanna get that money, flip that money. I just wanna stack them hundreds. I just wanna spaz out, cash out.